was my birthday yesterday. Yesterday I was sat out in the garden with a few drinks and then a few more than that. You know, I sat there and I decided to. It was around about like 9:30. I decided to hit up my friend Luke, not the Luke that you've seen on this channel potentially in the past. It's a different Luke. It's a friend from uni. You know, I messaged him at about 9:30. I said to him, "Hey, dude, come round. You're coming over. We're gonna watch Matrix." He said, sounds cool. Sounds good. Which one? Does it matter? Does it matter which one? Nah, come on, dude. Which one? Revelations. Is it Revelations? Whichever the new one is, I think it's called Revelations. At which point he was slightly more reluctant, but he did it. He did it. I'm not going to wear these for the whole video. It's stupid. We watched Matrix. We watched Matrix yesterday. He came over, you know, I was a few beers in, and I had a few more. We had leftover Dominoes, and we watched the new Matrix film. But nothing could have prepared me for how terrible this film is. This film was embarrassing, man. Oh my god, this was bad. This was so bad. And to the point where I fell asleep before the film ended. I honestly can't tell you everything that happened. All I can tell you is the parts that stuck out to me and the exact moment that I lost interest in the film. That exact moment, and by the way, spoilers, but don't worry about it. Where we're going, spoilers don't matter, because it's the new Matrix film. It's stupid. Yeah, don't worry about spoilers. So the moment I lost interest, I'm going to put it back on for this. The moment I lost interest in the film was when they said two words: Warner Brothers. They said Warner Brothers in the freaking film. They said the thing. They said the name of the production company. Let me just get that straight with you. That would be like if you watched a BBC show, if you watched like one of these soap operas, and halfway in they were like, if a BBC really want us to do this thing, so we should get in an argument because BBC. You don't. It's so bad. It's immersion breaking. It's fourth wall breaking, but it's unintentional. But it kind of is intentional, and that's part of my issue with the film, part of my big issue with the film. So the film revolves around this like hugely meta situation where like they know the Matrix exists, I think, and they're trying to make like a video game or something, and Keanu Reeves is there and Jada Pinkett Smith is there. That's tasteful. Well, you know, there's no way they could have known. I think the original Trinity, I'm pretty sure she was there. Lawrence Fishburne, I don't think, is there. And it's all this meta thing. And the reason that sucks and the reason I hate that and I think it's stupid is because thinking that the Matrix is meta is something that you do if you don't understand the Matrix and if you haven't taken enough time to figure out what it really is or means, almost on a surface level. I mean, you do have to think about it for a bit, but thinking that it's meta is something you do when you watch the movie and then you come away from it without really taking any of it in and going, it's like a meta thing, because it's multi-layered. And I think cognitively there's an assumption that if you have something that's multi-layered, that it is inherently in some way meta. Matrix wasn't. Matrix just had this dual layer world, you know, it's just there's the computer world and then there's the real world. To come away from that and say that's meta, you would have to not understand a single thing about the film, which is bad enough if you're just someone who went to see the movie. Although, you know, if you just went to see a goofy sci-fi film and you know came away from it saying, "Whoa, that was so meta," that's fine. If you are the people making the sequel, and by the way, I don't know who did this, I don't know if it was the Wachowskis or not. If you're the people making the sequel and your interpretation is that was so meta, that's not good. That is not a good thing. It's not meta. The dual layers aren't self-aware. There's no self-awareness to the film. The film doesn't. I mean, yeah, it knows diegetically that the Matrix exists, but it doesn't play off the notion that the Matrix is something that they're going into for spectatorship purposes or anything like that. There's no self-aware jokes. There's no fourth wall breaking. There's the virtual and the real world breaking, but that's not meta. That's just part of the story. And it bugs me that whoever made this, whoever conceptualized this film, thought, okay, well, the Matrix is meta. Let's go all out. Let's double down on that. And let's be completely and utterly self-aware with this film. Self-aware and referential to ourselves in this film. And it flops so hard, it's like a Magikarp trying to evolve into a Gyarados that's just landed on the beach. It is embarrassingly bad, it's awful, and it leads to some cringy moments. Like I said, I don't remember Lawrence Fishburne being in there, but I want to talk about this one scene. So one of the most famous scenes from The Matrix, and one scene that I absolutely love. By the way, it looks as though I have a black eye, because I think I have this yellow Pac-Man light, and it's shining right in my face. And I'm still working on the lighting for this setup. So there's the famous scene where Morpheus, and I kept saying Morbius last night, Morpheus fights Keanu Reeves, Neo. Morpheus fights Neo. And in the fight, it works so great because whilst you're watching the fight, Keanu begins to unlock these powers and realize that he has these powers. I know the line, "Whoa, I know Kung Fu," is like a real, like, bit of a cringy line, but it works. Like, you know, when you go into the film, you sort of reject any sort of, I don't know, rationality, and you accept stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, you watch the fight divulge into him learning his powers, but meanwhile, also, what's so great about the fight is that Morpheus and Neo are sort of on the same level. I mean, Morpheus is packing a bit more than Neo is, but aside for that, you don't expect what Morpheus brings to him, and that's part of the reveal. Part of the reveal is, oh hey, there's this dude who you would think is just a dude who wears sunglasses, has a trench coat, and goes, whoa, all the time. But in actuality, he knows Kung Fu. And he's going to teach it to you, and you're going to learn it because he's programming it into you. How awesome is that? I kid you not when I say they did the fight again. They did the exact fight again in the same place. I think they even, they knew they were doing it within the context of the film. However, like I said, it's not Lawrence Fishburne. They got a new actor. I don't know who the new actor is, but he's younger, he's fitter, he's in shape, and he wants you to know that, motherfucker. He wants you to know that. He has a ripped open shirt, he's got his pecs on show, he's got his six-pack on show, and he literally walks around like this. Just showing you his six-pack. He wants you to know that there are packs here. There are packs! We are hard bodies. He's a soft body. That's an Always Sunny reference. But yeah, there's this fight, and Neo is Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is, I think, in his 50s, and it's an old man fighting a young, fit dude. And it makes no sense whatsoever. It just doesn't look right. It doesn't look... For a fight to look good, it has to first look like a good fight. It has to look like something that should happen. Now, of course, contextually, you can play around with it. You can have like, oh wow, this old man actually super knows Kung Fu. Yeah, cool. But in this, you kind of already know who Neo is. You go into it knowing who all of these characters are, and you know who Keanu Reeves is, honestly. If they're going into the film thinking, they don't really know much about Keanu Reeves these days. We know he's old. We know he's out of shape. What's he going to do to fight this guy? And that epitomizes what's wrong with this film. It's unfortunately, there's this huge trend going around where it's like, whoa, did you see that? We did that before. What? But this is the ultimate amalgamation of that. And Warner Brothers is just a fucking hot mess right now with this. We saw it with Space Jam 2, A New Legacy, which I did watch, where, in case you don't know, spoiler alert for this film, there are individual planets, and each planet is a Warner Brothers property, which I think they literally call out as Warner Brothers properties. I am not exaggerating right now. All of this genuinely happens in the film. The bad guy literally works for Warner Brothers in Space Jam 2. I don't know what's going on with Warner Brothers right now. I don't know what this mess that they're in is. I don't know why they think all of this stuff works and is okay and is acceptable, but to bring it to Matrix and to make it be like, oh hey, no, it's okay because it's tongue-in-cheek and it's, referential, self-referential, and we know what we're doing and all of this. It is a mess. It is just a complete mess, and the film is a mess. The film is so soulless. It is completely soulless. As a Matrix fan, I was really just annoyed, and to the point where, sorry, I have an alarm set for cooking a curry. To the point, I was really disappointed by this film. It wasn't so bad it's good. It wasn't fun. It was just soulless, completely corporate, boring to the point where I fell asleep, and I can't tell. I couldn't really tell you a lot of stuff that happens in the film because it was just so surface deep, boring, and uninteresting. I hate this movie. I think it is absolutely terrible. I think Morbius is way better than this because it has a cohesive story. And I think Warner Brothers need to fucking stop. Please stop doing this, Warner Brothers. Please. Eroding. Please just stop. Warner Brothers, please stop doing this. I'm begging you. 6 out of 10.